Everyone, this is Amelia from Ultimate 48 Hour Author, and I've got the lovely Lisa and Scott with me, all the way from Canada. Hello. So we're
Hi.
just gonna have a conversation today and talk about the program and a bit about you guys' experiences. So we'll start off. What prompted you to come to the seminar? Although, the very first time you wanted to write a book, and the first thing was that seminar. What sort of prompted you to come to that?
Well, back in, I believe it would have been 2021, um, that year previous to that, people were saying to me, Lisa, you should write a book, you should write a book, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And then I had a flight to go from the west coast of Canada to the east coast of Canada. And on that flight, I decided I was gonna attempt writing my story. And so
Yeah.
I took up my phone, started to write in notes and that sort of thing. And was starting to actually look pretty good. And so it's funny how I'm getting a little feedback, but it's funny
That's okay.
how when you kind of send it out there into the universe, things happen because
Mhm.
probably within a few months of me starting to do that, I was on Facebook and ads were popping up for the Ultimate 48 Hour and Natasha Denman. And I was like, okay, she's in Australia. That's weird. I'm in Canada. And anywho,
Yeah.
so I ended up connecting with her and I spoke with her actually one-on-one. I don't even know if I actually went to the session. I
Yeah.
spoke with her and pretty much like that signed
No, it
up
was
to,
in.
I was
And that's the
in.
thing, and that's another option. I mean, if we have serious authors that are ready to go, by all means, go for it. And I mean, mine was different. Again, everyone write a book, write a book, write a book. Yeah, one day, one day. And then it just so happened that Nat and I have the same personal trainer, and I was doing my session, and then Nat walked in after me. And then our personal trainer introduced us. And then, yeah, again, it's funny how the universe works. Like when I wanted
Yeah.
to actually write the book, Nat was presented to me.
Very.
um, so yeah, no, it's good. All right then. Well, I guess this is for both of you. Um, what were your challenges during the whole process or writing the book or I mean, what would your biggest challenge be?
Well, for me, my biggest challenge probably was my spelling and
Yeah.
also going over and over and over and over and over the book because it rehashed stuff and brought stuff up that I forgot about. And
Yeah.
however, though, it was a really healing process as well. And
Yeah.
it's been neat to even see the aftermath of the book with my family. It's been kind of neat. So,
Oh, good. I can
yeah.
relate to the healing stuff because I was similar where I blocked everything with mine and then yeah, found it therapeutic because I had to go back and revisit everything and actually process it. So I can relate to that. So I think you make a valid point. But it is challenging, but like you said, it's rewarding at the end.
Oh, 100%. Well, looking at my family's starting to heal, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
say it's because of the book, but I also
Yeah.
know the book given people some of my family a nudge, and that's what life's about
Absolutely.
is listening to the nudges we get. Kind of like you
Yeah.
and Lisa were talking about when you show up and you met Natasha, it's a
Yeah.
nudge. You
That's
jump
it.
on
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So let's go with, well, I suppose you didn't really do the seminar. So after you'd met Nat, what were the next steps?
Well, for me, I didn't really meet Nat till
So,
Thailand was the first
yes.
really contact that I had with her. Lisa had signed me up to do the book, and Lisa was kind of the go between my book and Natasha because Lisa would tweak it before because my grammar and my all that stuff is a little on the gray side, I'll say.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Uh,
That's what editing's for. So,
yeah, Lisa edited it before it got there and put it into paragraphs, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm not sure if I would have been able to write the book without Lisa. And sometimes I've said to her that she should have been on as co-author because, in a
Oh, that's
sense,
so
she
good.
helped me do.
Mm.
Yeah.
And because I probably would have given up because it would have been
Yeah,
too. I
like
have my grade
overwhelming
12
and
education, but somehow I think I got about a grade 6 spelling and math. So that tells
yeah.
like
And
yeah,
that's okay. I mean, people do have their strengths and weaknesses, and that's where, we sort of all help each other and all have our own specialty and work through it. I think that's the whole idea. Like what I like about Ultimate 48-Hour Author is the community, I suppose. And maybe that's more for you, Lisa. Just being
Oh
in the
yeah.
community.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I
Yeah,
I just had to reach out to anybody in the Ultimate 48-hour group and I
yeah,
got my questions answered very quickly. I know that.
yeah,
And I know in terms of challenges, it was interesting actually working with Scott with his book and
yeah,
because he had such a rich, diverse story
yeah.
and he would tell his story, he would write it down and I would reread it and go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It's all there." And I'm like, "You tell me more verbally," and I would just help kind of fill in the blank.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
with our challenges. I don't know.
yeah. I
Well,
forgot
that's the
about that.
thing. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I got told because I was trying to be too perfect at the start. I was trying to edit as I was writing, and I found that very time consuming. So in the end, I sort of like word vomited it in a way where, again, I just wrote it all out. It didn't make much sense. It was just all on a, Microsoft Word document on the computer. And then yeah, having to go back and re-edit it again. But then you sort of get new ideas by doing that. And then you're like, oh, I didn't
Yeah,
mention this. I'll add this in now. So it's not a bad thing.
That's
So
true.
obviously, Lisa, you signed up to the Ultimate program.
Yeah.
What's the best aspect of that program, do you think?
I think the professionalism of Natasha and the group and how they're very positive driven and goal oriented. I think that was a big thing that attracted me to the business. And when, Natasha's like telling me that, oh, we're going to be doing like author planning and learn about, how to do social media and how to do, market your book and how to like
Yeah.
all this sort of stuff and find the value in your book and your story. And I'm like, really? I
Yeah.
want to learn all about that. Like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I think all the resources, the professionalism, how she strives for more herself, which,
Yeah.
you know, promotes us to strive more for ourselves. And so, yeah,
Exactly.
I think I like all that. And she's a very flexible, kind of proactive thinker, which I really
Yeah.
love, and I'm attracted to that. And yeah, just amazing and amazing resources, that's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'd have to agree. And I mean, you don't realize there's so much more to writing a book than just writing a book, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
And
there's
that's
a
where she
lot.
comes in and she like teaches you and opens your world up to all these different possibilities that you didn't even know about
Yeah.
when you're writing the book. So let's, I suppose, talk about your books and have you got copies there with you or even just the names of them or
Yeah, we have them. There you go, Scott.
yeah.
my perfect storm.
Yeah.
I came up with the name. I remember watching that movie called The Perfect Storm and
Okay.
how they talked about all the right elements to have the perfect storm that they had in the movie. And I think we were driving back east, and so all the feelings about where I grew up and all that were kind of coming up and being fresh. And it's like, really, the life I led, I probably should still be in jail for the rest of
Yeah.
my life, in and out of
Yeah.
jail or drunk, or not the life that I have today. And
Mhm.
so I had all the ingredients in my life to be that perfect storm and chaos for my whole
Yeah.
life, or where life switched. And so that's kind of where I came up with the perfect storm. And
It's
it's about,
amazing.
yeah, my book's a little bit about head injury, trauma,
Yeah.
cancer, living
Yeah.
in Alcoholics Anonymous for most of my life,
Yeah.
and going from there.
And
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 there's
that is
such
him.
And that is me on the front. It's the first time I
What
made
is
the front
it?
page of the newspaper,
Oh, that's so cool.
falling
And
off
you
the tee box.
good on you for turning it all around and, writing the
Yeah.
book and living a better life now. And I mean, I think that in itself just takes such strength and courage because there's not many people that
I
do it.
agree.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I agree.
I see family and friends, and it's like, just try something different. And it doesn't even, my whole life, this is how I feel. Like I lived in this circle like this,
Yeah.
and I would make a mistake or mess up in life, and then I would do the same thing that I did the last time that I tried to heal. And I managed to get quite a few years away from drugs and alcohol, and my life never really changed. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it was like you need to do something different, and that's what I did is went and chased something different. And here
That's
I
it.
sit, and it makes me laugh, or not laugh, but I'm astounded where I am because
Yeah, absolutely. So no, that's absolutely great. And then Lisa, you've written
Yeah.
a few
Yeah, so
books
I've
now.
yeah, so I've written these are the two adult books, and this this is my first book, A Year of Love, and
Yeah.
the subtitle is Taking Risks Big and Small, Finding My Soulmate to Win It All. This
Yeah.
book all began really when I went to a personal development class
Yeah.
and I was discovering that I was worth being heard.
Okay.
I made this big goal to write a book about my
Yeah.
feelings, opinions, my thoughts, my journeys, my experiences. And really that's where this came from, was making that
Yeah.
goal, saying I was going to fulfill it. And when I got this done, it was like, oh my gosh, I love writing.
And you got the Amazon bestseller as well. So
Yes, yes, I got as well. And then so
yeah.
I wrote the second book, 6 Months of Love, and it's our 6 month period in Thailand. And
Yeah.
again, we had done lots of personal development work and how what I really wanted to be able to share, like what a um, an amazing relationship looks like, sounds like, what we do, and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So that was kind of one of my things in here. And by the time I finished writing this, well,
Yeah.
after this one, I was like, okay, I know who my soulmate is. He's sitting right beside
Yes.
me. But when I came to the end of this one, I was like, I'm my own soulmate too. Like I want
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
for me, and I strive for my best. So those
So
are
you'd
my
say
two
the
adult.
books then would, yeah, like sort of opened, saw two sides to you, basically. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, here's my heart. There you go. Have a look. Yeah, so I was very proud to have those out, and I hope to write more books with Natasha as well. And
Yeah.
I also have written a children's book
Yes.
both for age 5 to 7 year olds. And my main reason for writing this was because about 6 years ago, I started on a health journey for myself and learned a lot
Yeah.
about eating healthy. And I am a teacher as well, so I wanted to combine both of those things. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of a fun nonfiction book
Yeah.
about quick choices on nutrition, because that's one of our big words too, is that life is
Yes.
choices.
Absolutely it is. Well, so you've done all these books now. What's happened since you published the books?
Mind-blowing things like interviews and having conversations with
Yeah.
amazing people and just exploring the world and sharing the world with people. And we Scott and I both decided to take on a coaching certification
Yeah.
together. So we
Yes.
crisis and recovery coaches for our business, Forward Walking Choices. And yeah, we're
Perfect.
just doing amazing things, and opportunities are just like, here you go. It's
Yeah,
been
they're
insane.
left, right, like everywhere. No, but I think that I was actually a thought popped into my mind. You guys would be great as a team because you've got such different topics, but you can bring them together and help
yeah.
such a wide range of people. So I think the coaching thing's great. Because someone can go there and get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
was we took this course. It was a goal setting course, and I was stuck at a goal, and I was seeing a therapist at the time, and she goes, Scott, why don't you become a coach? And I'm
Yeah.
like, a coach? What? And I didn't even know they really existed. I thought there was therapists and counselors. That was
Yeah.
it. Uh, so and I've been kind of chasing that and working towards that. And it's like
Perfect.
Lisa keeps going once in a while. How come you not once? This was in the past. You haven't done much with it, and it's like, yeah, I am. I'm getting to the point where
Yeah.
Scott's ready for the
That's
world,
right.
Yeah.
And the
and
book sort of brings you credibility and brings you that,
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. I've lived it. I've gone through it. So I suppose that's where you're leading to. Because my next question
well,
was where to now?
in
Yeah.
And
in November we're I think it's November.
November,
We're
yeah.
launching a couples course
yep,
to
yep,
show up and find out how you show up in relationships. I'm
perfect.
gonna write one more book, and
Yep,
it's gonna be a little bit about my experience in 12-step programs, not just one. I've been in a couple,
yep,
and so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward, you know what, I want to pay my life forward. Like I have an
yeah.
amazing life. We share so much in common, and it's not the part is it's not rocket science. It's
No,
simple
you're
and
right.
easy. You do simple little things for each other every day,
Yep,
and life's amazing. And if I've never had this in my life, and I think
yeah.
it's attainable for anybody if they make the decisions.
Oh,
And that's
absolutely.
I got diabetes just as COVID hit,
Yep.
and I made the decision that I wasn't doing any drugs for my diabetes,
Hmm.
like any of the prescription drugs,
Yep, yep,
and
Mhm.
I would treat it with food. And
yeah.
you know what? You can successfully treat diabetes with food, and all it is a decision at how to do it.
That's it. Like you were saying before,
I
it's
don't-
choices.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so it's making those choices, which is great. And I love how versatile all your books are. I mean, you've got from your perspective, and then you've got your story, and then now, like you said, you're going to write a book with tips and a guide, basically. So just the and then you got the children's book as well. So the versatility of all the books is great because, you're not limiting yourself either, which is
Mm.
really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
good.
Really excited. And I hope, or I know, not I hope I am writing a second children's book.
Yep,
Um, it's one of my stories from when I was teaching grade 1 and 2, or
yep,
kindergarten, grade 1. And I'm excited to have that one come out as well. I want to write
yep,
another book that kind of connects teachers or coaches with children,
yep,
and how all those groups can work, and parents, I'm sorry, teachers, parents, and kids, how they can kind of all work together to move
yeah,
forward.
yep,
I'm noticing as a substitute teacher in school nowadays, I'm noticing there is a lot of anxious children and
mhm,
stress, and parents as well, teachers as well. So I don't know if it's all COVID related. However, there's a lot of stress
yeah.
in the world.
I know. And another thought just popped into my mind. I mean, Nat always says that a lot of our authors stay with us lifetime because they do write multiple books. And that's where the ultimate package comes in for you because you can attend as many retreats as you want. And then you still get all the recorded content and all the masterclasses and any content that's done and any of the live classes. And so I suppose you're a classic example of where you're benefiting so well from the program. And I just think
Yeah.
it's great that you want to keep writing.
Oh
So
yeah.
my
And
last question,
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
no, no,
No,
you
I was
go.
just gonna say I desire to keep learning. And so
Yeah,
that's what I love about Natasha and the group there.
exactly. And I suppose and she's always learning as well, as you know, and she's always coming up with new things. I mean, AI is a big thing these days, so I know
Yeah.
she's looking into that, and she's going to investigate all that now. And that's I suppose, the good thing about it too is that we're evolving all the time. We're not just, although Natasha's been in it for 10+ years, she's not stuck from 10 years ago. She's always evolving her programs as well. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. All
Now
right.
that she's
So,
doing them
oh
live,
yeah.
I might. Now that she's doing them live again in Australia, I might fly to Australia and do it in Australia at some point.
You're
I
more
just
than welcome.
I got really tired of doing stuff on the internet was when
I
I did
know.
my one of the biggest reasons. And now I
That's
like
it.
it, starting to like it again, but I don't know if I'd want to do an actual whole course again on the internet
Yeah,
Live.
yeah.
live.
I think we're all deprived of that because of COVID and
Yeah.
everything went online. And it's like we now crave attention, like a
Yeah.
face-to-face people.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. We've started to do seminars live, like Scott said, and they've been great to actually meet the potential authors and have, conversations, real life conversations with them. It's just great. So hopefully we can get back to fully in person one day, or just the
Well, I
world in
don't think
general.
it'll
I
ever
think,
go fully. It's too much of a tool to have multiple
yeah,
people around the world. Like
Yeah, I
if it
know.
wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't have wrote the books through
well,
you.
that's
Yeah.
true. That is
Yeah.
true.
And
It's a
like
blessing
there
for
is
sure.
huge benefits to it. 'Cause, like I seen a trauma therapist for a couple of years, and at first, this is even before internet was big, doing it like on Zoom, and that's
Yeah.
all she ever did was on Zoom, and you didn't have to race to get there to the doctor. You didn't have to race
Yeah.
to work, and you didn't have to be anxious. So there's lots of benefits to it, and that's the
Yeah.
one thing. Yeah,
No, and that's true. And that's the thing. That's why we're doing both, like with the seminars, the 1 day seminars. We've still got that online option for people that, can't or are anxious about traveling or can't get to the, place. So I think it's good to have both because then you're catering for everyone.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it just feels nicer that we can see people now rather than, yeah, be locked up at home and
Yeah,
everything
meeting
online.
Natasha in Thailand was pretty cool too. She taught
Yeah.
me a new word, but I can't remember exactly what it
Oh,
was.
really?
We were out for dinner and she was getting the bill. What do you call that?
Or like the
It's an Australian word.
I forget.
I
I
don't know.
forget.
I
Oh, when
can't remember.
they want to buy the bill,
Take the bill, the check.
the
Oh
check, and
yeah, like
after
yeah.
dinner.
Well, yeah, just pay the. I don't know. I'd always just say pay the bill.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Maybe it's not Australian. Maybe it's just
It
something
could
from
be.
the.
I don't know. I'd have to ask her and find out. I mean, we've got quite a few Australian slang terms and things, so
Yeah.
which people find quite joyous. But yeah, we'll have to teach you some one day.
Yeah, for sure. We'll teach you a few Canadian terms.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be good. All right. So the last thing is, what would be your number one tip? Anyone that's thinking about writing a book, starting to write a book, whichever avenue you want to go down, what would be your number one tip for them?
Well, for me, it would be make the decision.
Yeah.
Because once you make a decision, it's in writing. Like
Yeah.
you're doing it,
You're committed.
you're committed. Because
That's it.
people argue that making a decision isn't that, but a decision is an action word, not a
Yeah.
word that you just sit on your laurels after you decide. Because once you
Yeah.
decide, that's genocide. Decide,
That
genocide.
is true. Yeah.
And
I like that.
and that's the biggest thing. And be gentle with yourself while you're going through it, because it's going to be a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it'll all be
that's
worth it in
taught
the
me.
end.
Yeah, God taught me that. Be gentle on yourself. That was one of the
Yeah.
things he taught me. But my tip would you can bleep it if you want. However, it's not a bleep.
No.
JFDI. I'll say just freaking do it.
Yeah.
JFDI, just do it. Just do it.
Just do
And
it. Yeah.
one tip that if you're writing a story, an additional tip, if you're writing a story about yourself and you're doing your best to recall memories, for me, this and
Yeah.
pictures help to recall memories and emotions and feelings and events, and it was really great for me. So take lots of pictures.
That's a good one. I've never heard that one, so I
Yeah.
like that one.
And the other
Um,
is if you're sitting out there listening to this and you think your spelling's too bad, you think your grammar's too bad, you think you're not good enough, I'm telling you, you are good enough. Just put pen to paper. There's
I
all
love,
sorts
yeah,
of support after you put pen to paper. Well, type it, whatever.
yeah,
But after you start doing it, there's lots of support to help to get the book done.
exactly. No, that's great. I love
Agreed.
that. Oh, no, thank you so much, guys. I really
Thank you. It's
appreciate
Thanks,
been
it.
awesome.
Amelia.
Thanks.
All right.